Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be talking about Rush Duel. So I do a lot of contents like this, like Yu-Gi-Oh contents, Rush Duel, and even the normal Yu-Gi-Oh. So if you like contents like this, do subscribe to my channel. So starting off, I'm doing like a Spellcaster deck, like a pure Spellcaster deck. That's why I didn't put in any like Rush Dragon Dragius. Okay, I'll be cheating a bit. I did put one warrior, like just one warrior. But other than that, it is mainly focused on the 7 Roads Magician combo. To be honest, comparing 7 Roads Magician with Rush Dragon Dragius is like so much better. But since we are keeping in theme, that's why I just put it here. But if you want to make like a really competitive deck, I would suggest that you just switch this out with Rush Dragon Dragius. Doesn't matter, because you want to run the 4 stars and below Spellcasters monsters just to use these 2 cards, which I think these 2 cards is actually very good for the game. So starting off, we have the Earth Spellcaster Stray Familiar. So it's pretty much a vanilla monsters. At first I actually didn't put this in because I thought, wow, what a sucky stats. But as for the game right now, in terms of all the cards that's released right now, 1400 defense is surprisingly high, and a lot of times it actually saved me a lot of times, because a lot of cards are like 2200 attack and like really low attack, and this actually for some reason they could not get over this, which is very surprising. So moving on, next we have 7 Roads Reach. In theory, it sounds like a good card. You just send 1 card from your hand and then you special summon a level 7 or higher Dark Spellcasters. But the problem is you rarely get 2 of these in your hands. Even if you get this one first, you put this down. First of all, it's a 6-star monster, so you need to have a tribute. You put this down and then hopefully your opponent doesn't kill it for you to draw this next turn, which probability of that is pretty low. So I'm contemplating whether to even put this in the deck at all. I might just take it out. And if you are just switching over to Rush Dragon Dragius, or if you're gonna put like Blue Eyes White Dragon, just take it out and replace it with a better 1 tribute monsters. So next one, this is like the only warrior card that I put in this deck. So this is Fiendish Commander Yamerula. I'm not sure I got the name right. In theory, it's a good card. Okay, like I'm not debating on that, but you don't run 3 or 2, because a lot of times it's only good if you already set up your board, like you already have all the stronger monsters, and then you lock your opponent out of it and out of like making a bigger monsters to get over them. I mean, that's good, but chances of that is that if you're already making all this, you set up a very nice board, you no longer even need this like it's an overkill. And if you just start the turn alone to make this, you probably already committed a lot of resource just to sort of make him, and that's it. You probably just end your board with this card. And so in theory it's good, but practically, surprisingly, it's not as impactful. But I still run it, so I just put 1 because I thought it's still a good card. So next one is the main monster of this whole strategy, 7 Roads Magician. So okay, the problem is, no doubt you can get it to like the most is 3900 attack. Yeah, that's good. I mean, 3900 attack, you can beat over Blue Eyes. But that's the thing, is all that it does is just being a big beat stick. And then the thing is, you lose all the extra attack on your opponent's turn, so it goes back to the base attack of 2100, which is surprisingly very easily defeatable. Like some people just beat over it with 6-star monsters, which is very weak. That's why you need a lot of disruption to sort of protect it, which I think if you just replace this with Blue Eyes or just this, you don't even have to worry about that. So, but since we are keeping in theme, that's why he's in the deck. So next is we have Fire Golem. Okay, Fire Golem, the effect is you can pay 600 and then one face up monster your opponent control loses 600 defense. Okay, first of all, a lot of times when they are in defense, they are face down. Okay, and even when they are, even if they are face up defense, which is very rarely, normally those face up defense are these ones where after they realize you put down big monsters, they switch this to defense, which their defense is already pretty low. Like this is just like an overkill. So it's not here for the effect. It's just here because this is better than the normal monster counterpart. There's another fire spellcaster, which surprisingly has lousier stats than this one. Like this one 1100 and this 1002, and it has effect. This one is slightly suckier, and both of them is 3 star. So it's very surprisingly that Konami will just waste paper to print this. So it doesn't matter, maybe it's just a structure deck thing. So next one, this card is surprisingly very good. The thing is, sometimes you will a lot of times you draw too much of these 4-star monsters and you wish you would draw like the bigger level ones. This one just help you fix your hands. You just throw away the ones that you overdraw, and then you just draw one card, like you could get a spell or what. So it's very good for consistency in a way, and it's like maybe good for tribute. So not bad. So moving on, we have the Whispering Fairy. Okay, Whispering Fairy, to be honest, the effect, maybe the effect will be good later on in the game, but currently it's just not very good. Unless you're going to against like a mirror match and the person has okay, first of all, I'll tell you the effect. You can activate by sending one card from your hand to the graveyard. Select up to 2 monsters in your opponent's graveyard and shuffle them into the deck. So maybe you could shuffle away the extra attributes and then it has less attack. Currently that's the only usage that I could think of. Like, so other than that, I think maybe in the current game format it's just not very good yet. In the future maybe it's good. It's just here because it has a slightly better stats than this. This is like 1000 attack and 400 defense, and this at least has 1200 defense, which, to be honest, if you're gonna end up with a board full of low level monsters, you probably gonna put them in defense anyway. You're not gonna put them in attack position. So moving on. Okay, this is a complete surprise. This is a 2-star card. At first I read the effects, maybe I'm just putting the whole classic Yu-Gi-Oh gameplay and the ideology into this. In theory, this card isn't very good. So you can send one monster, Spellcaster or Dragon from your hand to the graveyard. Choose one monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effect until the end of this turn. So it only protects your monster during your turn. So at first I'm like, oh, if it could protect your monsters even during your opponent's turn, then this would be very good, but only on your turn. But surprisingly, because with the way the game is now, where battle phase is very important, it's actually pretty useful because a lot of people runs this, and when you sort of protect them during attacking, a lot of times it actually saved me from these cards that would destroy him. So it helped you smoothen the attack of 7 road, so you could land the attack smoothly and protects it from destruction. So that's why I run 3 of it. At least at first I run like just 2, then I realized how useful it is, so I up it to 3. So the next card, the reason why the spellcasters are good, I mean of course their spells would be good, their spellcasters. This card is like really OP. The requirement is just for you to just control one spellcaster and destroy one spell trap card your opponent control. So it's like an MST for this game, and surprisingly, destroying spell and trap for this game format is crucially very important, because you have a lot of players that run this card that is essentially a mirror force for this game. So having able to destroy it before you go to an attack is very useful, and the requirement is almost to nothing, like control one spellcaster, that's nothing. So moving on, we have, I think this is one of the best card in the whole game. First of all, it's like a mirror force. So destroy requirement is when your opponent monster declares an attack, shuffle 4 monsters spellcaster from your graveyard into the deck, and then you destroy all attack position monster your opponent control, which is super good. Save me from a lot of situation, like my opponent could be having like a super big monster like blue eyes, and I easily just destroy them. So the reason why I suggest that you guys run the spellcasters and then switch out the boss monsters with the dragon is because you just want to run this, and the requirement like shuffle 4 monster spellcasters from your graveyard to your deck. At first, because I was always playing classic Yu-Gi-Oh, I thought like, wow, what a hefty requirement. But in this game, considering how fast you draw cards and how fast you summon monsters, having 4 spellcaster monsters in graveyard is nothing. Like, you easily achieve it maybe in first turn or whatnot. Another thing about the requirement is actually a good thing, because in this game, you always draw 5 every turn. Your deck actually runs out very fast, and for you to shuffle back 4 monsters into the deck is actually very crucial in this game, because you want to replenish your deck so that it keeps you alive. Because I felt a lot of times I actually lose because I finish drawing the deck. So this one actually, the requirement is a good thing. You add cards to your deck, and then you destroy all attack position monsters, which is very, very good. Okay, so the next card I'm gonna talk about is the Luminous Shaman. Okay, at first I thought this is a good card because a lot of times I beat my I beat my opponent till it only have like 1200 life points, and I honestly needed that direct attack. But at first I run 3 of this, but after a while I realized that situation rarely happens, so that's why I just run 2 of this. So the next spell card is Hammer Crush. Okay, this card is honestly very good. Like because in the state of this game now, spell and trap removal is crucially important, and you have 6 of it in this deck, and you could easily just destroy your opponent's back row, and then make sure you land your attack safely with this card. So this card is very good. It's a generic card, so you can run it in your dragon deck or your spellcaster deck. So the next one is just a vanilla monsters. I just put it here because, well, the stats is very good, 1500. A lot of times it actually like is able to destroy like a 6-star or whatnot when they are in defense, and it's just the attribute is dark, so you could pump up the attack of 7 Roads Magician. So moving on, this is a vanilla 2000 attack monsters. I'm contemplating whether to run more of this, like maybe 2, but I think now I'm pretty happy for it to be 1. I mean, sometimes you just need that higher attack to just like, you know, combo off this and then beat up bigger monsters. So this is here for that. This card in theory looks like a really bad card. Okay, when your opponent declares an attack with a monster spellcaster in your graveyard, and if you have spellcaster in the graveyard, the opponent just lose 500 attack. But honestly, this saved my skin, like saved my butt from a lot of situations, honestly. And I'm actually quite surprised at how useful this card is, because this guy needs protection. A lot of times when the opponent attack me with Rush Dragon Dragius, attacking this one, I just like, this caught them in surprise, because they always assume people don't run this card. So when they attack this one, you just minus 500 and this one goes to graveyard. So they are honestly a lot of times caught them by surprise. So I'm actually pretty surprised at how useful this card is. So that's why I run just 2. I was thinking maybe I run 3, but I think 3 is too much. A lot of times it just sits. I mean, it's another thing that is good is it's a good bait for removal. So a lot of times they use this on this, and I'm very happy that they didn't hit this. So I guess that's good for it. Okay, now this one. At first I thought for the strategy of 7 Roads Magician. I thought this would be good because you get it to high attack and then you put piercing to it, and then it does that inflict the balance of the damage to the life point. But honestly, for some reason, a lot of times this just sits in my hand and it just does nothing, because a lot of times this one actually catch people by surprise. The whole strategy is that you need to catch people by surprise when they leave like a small monsters in attack position, and then you just drop this down to like 3900 attack and attack over it. So a lot of times this wasn't very useful. It's only useful a couple times, so that's why I just put one. That's it. And then this one, another one, in theory I thought this might be a good card for this deck, but for some reason it just sits in my hands as well, because I do not know why it just sits in my hand. Because if you think about it, let's say I want to try to get over this, a lot of times I draw into these smaller monsters. Even if you get it to 1000 more, you still can't get over this. So a lot of times it's just useless, and if you try to add this to him, it's just 1000 more to, and then you need to commit to one card from your hand to graveyard, which is again pretty pointless. So that's why I just run. So pretty much no extra deck, because they haven't introduced any extra deck monsters to this game. So pretty much this is my deck profile for the Rush Duel. I feel like if I switch this out with like this guy or Blue Eyes, it will have maybe a higher win rate. Thanks you guys for watching, and you guys like videos like this. I talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes I review toys, pretty much any nerdy stuff. So if you like contents like this, do subscribe to my channel. So anyway, thanks for watching and see you guys again.